It's not a joke, and again, the fact that they have to do this gives me hope that we are having a bigger and bigger influence. I mean, they've tried to... You had Geraldo Rivera try and blame the bombing, I call it a bombing, it was basically a firework or something, at the Times Square Military Recruitment Center, and said it was the work of 9/11 truth activists or 9/11 truth anarchists. So they're basically equating us with terrorists, and they have been for months. So this is just the next phase of that, to link us with the great enemy of Iran, to demonize us and sour public opinion towards the 9/11 truth movement, because it's having a massive impact. Nothing's stopping that.
I can't believe we're being forced to fight with these killers. Think about it, Paul. We're actually hurting them globally. People are seeing who they are, and they are mad. I want to say to all of them in special ops that took part in this, and the Israelis and the rest of them, and the people in our government, no doubt British were involved, the evidence shows, well, what have you become? Well, we know the Islamics really are a threat, and we had to do this because you weren't ready to fight them. And then that's a bunch of bull. You fund all the radical Muslims to overthrow their secular governments. And then you attack the innocent Serbs using them. You are criminals. It's because you want no-bid contracts in domestic police states and contracts for your bosses to run the private contractors, and it's so you can take our pension funds and do whatever you want domestically. This has nothing to do with fighting Muslims. How dare you fall back on that and say you carried out the attacks for our own good? You know that's a bunch of bull, too. Watson?
Well, what's interesting to me about this whole al-Zawahiri thing is supposedly he was asked 2,000 questions, and this was his response to one of them, and his response was one sentence long. So the media have essentially picked out a one-sentence response to a question out of 2,000 questions.
But that's classic propaganda. They made it very simple so it couldn't be analyzed.
Yeah, but they've chosen to run with headlines about him equating 9/11 conspiracy theories with Iran. One question out of 2,000 answers that he gave. So they've focused in and picked this and ran with it, and it's obviously part of this sentiment to sour public opinion towards the 9/11 truth movement.
Yeah, we're just completely screwed. Oh, God, we've got psychopathic killers with unlimited cash that own the banks, running everything, poisoning our water, staging terror attacks, grandsons of the ADL head popping up in turbans. I mean, I just... Paul Watson, tell folks about the PrisonPlanet.tv membership so we can have more capital to get the word out and expand what we're doing, and so they can also have high-quality video of the fourth hour.
Well, yeah, we've just upped the service by offering live streaming, video streaming, and archives, which are available maximum 2-3 hours after the end of the show to subscribers. And as you said before, it goes on for an hour and a half, 2 hours, sometimes even 3 hours. And I've been watching it since it started, and it's not only informative, but it's very entertaining because it's kind of a more off-the-hook approach that you've taken, throwing in a bit of humor for people, while giving them the real information on top of that. So I think people find it very interesting on top of everything else that they get, which is every Alex Jones video in 4 different download formats. All the new videos are available in streaming flash, so you can watch it as you would watch a YouTube video live, but it's in much higher quality. Again, we've got Alex's book, my book, hundreds of audio interviews, hundreds more special video presentations. We had the JFK sneak peek last week. We've got scores more special presentations like that in high quality, and we're adding new content to it all the time. So, to throw fire into our bellies and fund what we're doing, I think a lot of people see it as a good way to support us for what is little cost.
Well, I just appreciate everything you're doing, Paul, and whatever happens in all of this, I know you're going to continue on with your work, and if they do kill me or set me up or imprison me, folks, know that you'll automatically know who all my enemies are in our own movement because they'll all intensify their attacks on me. So use whatever happens to me as a identifier of the enemy. And I'm not saying they're going to kill me, but I got a death threat last night, and they put up on Wikipedia that I've been killed at the same time. Very sick freaks. And, I mean, did you hear all that, with the local Palestinian peaceful activist, how his body was all sliced up, open, and signs of torture all over him? Same thing I got from news sources. And they call it a suicide where he's all bound. And
well, naturally, it's a suicide if you're bound and gagged, and the media unquestionably reported it as a suicide.
Well, remember Dr. David Kelly, he wrote emails to 2 friends saying, I've been told I'll be found dead in the woods if I don't shut up. And then police come up and see 5 guys in black uniforms run away from his body. His wrists are slit with no blood at the scene, and it's come out he was murdered. Members of Parliament. I mean, they called it a suicide, Paul.
It's crazy.
They could hang me at the Super Bowl. Bush could pull the lever, and they'd say I committed suicide. And look, the denial isn't going to help you, America. You're the target of all of this. It's the guys in caves work for the bad guys. Paul Watson, good job. Take care. I hope everybody will get his article at Prison Planet.